Welcome to Real Time, Florida Sportsman. This week we're up in the Big Bend. We're fishing the St. Marks and Wakulla River systems. It's time to find the shortest route to the hottest bite. We scan the Florida Sportsman community looking for the best fishing reports and travel to make real anglers our local guides. Give me some of that! Together we let you in on secret spots and hometown moves. That's what I'm talking about!
Oh yeah, she's done for now.
This week we're headed to Wakulla Springs. We're fishing the St. Marks River up in the Big Bend. That's a good one. Got one?
Yeah, I got another one.
God,
Yeah.
pretty fish.
Beautiful.
Look at that, 3 spots. All coming up on Real Time, Florida Sportsman. This week started with heading into the Wakulla Springs State Park. Our plan was to stay at the Wakulla Springs Lodge right inside the heart of this state park. You know, we're getting here right in December. The weather's changing, the leaves are changing on the trees. I'm from southern Florida or southeast Florida, and you don't really see this type of scenery. You know, we're up in the Big Bend region. This is old Florida, you know, trees that are hundreds of years old. It's just breathtaking. Talking to this week's guest host, George Gozdz, our plan was to meet first thing in the morning on the St. Marks River, get a nice early start, and try to get that early morning bite. Pretty morning, George.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful out here. Should have some nice weather.
Where are we at? What are we doing?
Out here, St. Marks, Florida. This area right here is called the Fort. It's spring fed. We got the St. Marks River, kind of comes to a fork right here. On the other side, we got the Wakulla River that comes out. Should have some real nice clear water, hopefully get on a good bite.
So what are we gonna be doing out here today?
Gonna be going after redfish, trout, maybe some sheephead, black drum.
All right.
Should be exciting, maybe some snapper.
Be able to throw some hard baits?
Absolutely.
Missouri's?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's make it work.
Cool.
Let's do it. We made our way up the river a little ways, you know, breathtaking again. First thing in the morning, steam coming off the water, you know, the sun is coming through the trees, and it wasn't a long trip, and we're at our first fishing spot. So what's gonna be our plan here?
All right, right here we're just kind of cruising up the river. We started marking some fish. This little bend has some nice structure, a little bit of current flowing through here right now. So we're gonna give it a few minutes, see if we can pull up a couple fish.
Just bouncing the bottom this kind of chilly morning.
Bouncing the bottom, throwing some yozuris.
66 degrees, it's not too bad, that water temperature. We're seeing some bait up here.
Yeah, it's
Oh, look at all the bait up there.
pretty nice. This water stays pretty consistent with the spring, pretty much all year long.
You know, the St. Marks is a small, you know, not a very wide river system, and apparently all in this Big Bend region, there's a lot of these little areas where these, you know, these river systems come out into the Gulf of Mexico, and apparently, you know, in the wintertime, in the colder months, a lot of these fish head up into this river system and get on these, you know, these deeper bodies of water. They're able to stay warm, you know, a lot of food for them, and this was our plan, was to target these rivers and look for fish on the bottom. I threw a jig on a little deeper. You know, it's like 15 feet in the middle, so I'm just trying to poke around on the bottom. Have some good marks on the bottom. Hard to beat a soft bait on the bottom, first thing in the morning. Cooler water. Typically something like this, you throw top water, you know, early in the morning, but the water's so cool, air's cool. Probably not gonna get a lot of surface action yet.
Yeah, you're on.
First fish of the morning. Bouncing that bottom there, he just came up and had to have it. He ate that thing too, didn't he?
Yeah. Beautiful red.
God,
Yeah.
pretty fish.
Beautiful.
Dark, I mean really dark. Gets in this tannic water. Darker bottom, muddier bottom, it takes the color of the water. It's kind of hard to imagine, you know, we're fishing for saltwater fish in a, you know, in pretty much a freshwater canal. And I guess over time, these things have, you know, grown accustomed to the salinity levels being so low. At the mouths of these rivers, it's still tidal, but you know, there's a million gallons a day that's washing out of these springs. So, you know, it's probably 95% fresh water, but these redfish, these trout, they've acclimated to it, and it's just an incredible fishery.
This segment is brought to you by Eagle Claw Trocar, the sharpest fish hooks in the world.
Water temperatures were a constant 67, 68 degrees because of the springs. You know, and in this area, these fish are sitting on the bottom, as we said. They're gonna try to stay warm. You know, we're actually marking all these fish on the Ray Marine sounder. So we knew the area that we needed to target. So this is really old Florida, probably a lot of history here.
Absolutely, a couple old battles happened real close to here. Battle of Natural Bridge took place.
Civil War battles.
Yep.
Wow. You know, we're just about, 20 miles or so outside of Tallahassee, maybe? That's about how far we are? Yeah.
Pretty much due south, yeah.
But just kind of old Florida again, just real pretty. How long have you been fishing this area?
Been fishing it pretty hard for the past 4 or 5 years. Really love it. Just kind of fell in love with this area.
And for kind of, a city area like Tallahassee, to be able to ride 20 miles and get into something like this. What a great little getaway.
Yeah, so we'll just keep making our way up. There's a little bit more structure up ahead. Real nice corner.
The bends always hold the fish.
Absolutely. Good depth in here.
That Ray Marine is lighting up with bait on the bottom. What is all that laying down there?
Should be mostly mullet. There's some sand perch that are mixed in. But typically out here you find the mullet, you'll find some game fish. So we're marking the fish. We got one part of the equation out of the way.
Find the bait, find the fish.
Same story all around Florida, pretty much.
Current bait structure.
There we go. A good trout.
Yeah, a little better
Little
trout.
guy. I might keep.
Yeah, see how clear that water is? A little better trout.
Not bad, not bad.
So that would be a keeper size there.
Absolutely.
Over 15 inches, bouncing the bottom. This is one of the big targeted species around here.
Probably the most by far.
Okay.
Yep.
Well. And you can see, man, teeth like that, they come up and grab a hold of their prey. Every fish feeds a little different. You can see he'll grab it and hold on to it. Nice fish, let's let him go though.
Yeah, another little trout.
So that's kind of average there.
Yep. It's right around keeper size. Maybe a bit short.
So trout is a pretty popular fish in this area. It's probably the #1 table fare fish that people are going after. The river is, I was surprised on how much boat traffic there were. And talking to George, he said everybody out here is trout fishing. I actually could see that trout come up and eat. So this water is clear. It's a kind of dark tannic, but it's not turbidited. You can really see down.
Yeah, right now we're getting about 4 or 5 feet, good visibility. We recently got some rain, kind of dirtied up the water, stained it. For the most part, it is pretty clear all year long.
At the head where the spring is, it's probably crystal clear, right?
I would definitely assume so right now. Haven't been up there. But this recent rain, there's a lot of tributary creeks and stuff that feed into this, darken it up. But another few days of no rain, good weather, definitely should get clear.
You bounce this thing on the bottom slowly. I slowed it way down, and as soon as you do.
Got another trout?
Another trout.
Oh, little red. Little
baby red. Look at this guy. God, he's dark too. These are such dark fish. Little guy.
Cute little guy.
Kept getting bites, kept getting bites.
This segment is brought to you by Penn. Let the battle begin.
Whoa! Oh, what do you got there, George?
Picked it up off the bottom.
Okay. coming to the surface.
Ooh.
Another trout.
Yeah, fighting a little different. Another little red.
Little red.
And
Nice.
I'm into the micro reds today. Oh, this one's got 2 spots on him. You fish any tournaments around here for these?
Pretty much all the tournaments we fished, the redfish won't necessarily be highlighted, but there'll be a side pot and stuff for them.
Look at that, 3 spots. They're all different. They actually have spot tournaments where you win by the fish with the most number of spots. So 3 spots on that side too. Oh, what a cool fish. Now these redfish, these aren't the typical redfish that you find, you know, on your west coast, out on the flats. You know, these are darker fish, you know, just kind of a unique look. They've probably taken the darker color because this is more of a tannic water, a muddier bottom, and they probably get this color from, you know, the habitat that they're living in. Ooh.
Do the elevator on him.
Oh.
You saw that? Little trout. Okay.
How many times I had to feed him? The thing came up and ate it about 4 times. Pretty little trout. What's your limit around here?
Got 5 trout that you can keep. 4 have to be within the slot of 15 to 20. You're allowed to keep one fish over 20 inches.
All right, well, we're gonna let that one go, apparently.
There we go.
Little red? Fighting like one.
Oh, sure.
Nope,
Mango.
snapper. So, what, 3 or 4 different species we've caught so far? Trout, reds, ladyfish, and now a mangrove snapper. And those are some good eating fish right there.
Absolutely. Real pretty little fish.
So
Got
you
to
know,
be 10 inches to keep. This one's probably just shy.
you know there's some structure down there if he's down there. They love to sit on those structure piles. It's amazing too, so this is pretty much fresh water, but he, you know, a snapper that you would think of as a saltwater fish. I think, remember when we dove back up in the springs in Crystal River, there were some snapper too, so they must be able to acclimate to that fresh water pretty well.
Yeah. Definitely when they're younger, a little smaller like this, a bit of an estuary for them. There he goes.
Better one.
Trout. Oh, another red.
Getting bigger. I just don't know what you're gonna catch in here. That's what's so cool about it. That's really what's neat about saltwater fishing too. Come out here, so many different species, so many different ways to catch them. See a bottom feeder sitting there down there feeding on the bottom, so you want your bait down on the bottom most of the time. They will rise up, you even need a topwater plug, but naturally they're eating on the bottom. I always tell people that. Look at the fish and you can figure out kind of how he feeds and what he feeds on. Mouth is down, pointed down, he's gonna be eating on the bottom. The tide was rising all morning long. You know, our plan was to let this tide fill, spend the morning fishing inside the St. Marks River, and then when the tide got, you know, high enough for the bay boat, we were gonna head out and fish on the flats. St. Marks has been good to us, but you have some more to offer?
Yeah, we got a couple other things we can try. Maybe fish around some oyster bars, get some bigger redfish action. Let's go see what we can do.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man, this was fun.
Cool, yeah.
Switch it up a little bit.
Couple snapper, little trout, a few reds in here. Not a bad start.
Oh, great morning. The tide wasn't high enough out on some of these oyster bars, so we decided to take a little time, head over to an island, pull up, and have some lunch.
This segment is brought to you by Ray Marine. Don't just go fishing, go hunting underwater with Ray Marine.
In this week's seminar, I'm going to talk to you about boating etiquette. In this episode, we're out on the St. Marks River. It's a narrow body of water with surprisingly quite a bit of small boat traffic. You know, even on these regular normal speed zone areas, responsible wake laws apply. You want to slow down. You know, before you get to these boats, idle by these boats, don't throw a big wake. The same thing applies when you're out on a big flat. You know, if you see somebody fishing out on an oyster bed, give them the room. Don't crowd them. Find another way around. You know, we're all probably guilty of this every now and then, getting a little bit too close, but if we make a habit of showing courtesy out on the water, it's going to be a better day for everybody. We moved on, we made our way out to the mouth of the St. Marks River where it meets into the Gulf of Mexico. This area is just littered with oyster bars, and our plan was just to bounce around from bar to bar and look for some fish. Out here on these flats now, huh? Totally different.
Yeah, we moved down here closer to the mouth of the St. Marks River. Got a couple oyster bars we're gonna fish along, kind of move down parallel to them.
Looking for the same stuff, trout, reds?
Yeah, hopefully get a couple more trout. We'll see what happens. Yeah, if you look out along this little stretch, you can see those ripples. This whole big long ripple is one long oyster bar that stretches almost all the way to the shoreline.
You can really see that water coming over the top of it.
Yeah, it's moving pretty good right now.
And talking about these oyster bars, they're just oysters everywhere. A lot of the oysters that we're eating are coming from this Apalachicola Bay area. And it's not hard to see why. Naturally spring-fed water, nice clear water. This is a perfect estuary for these oysters. That is a lot of Spartina marsh there, and all that floods, huh, on a really high tide. It's not hard to imagine why the fishing is so good around here. When you got that kind of habitat, untouched, it's just so much bait, so much structure.
Thousands of these little creeks all along the shoreline. So many places for them to be.
Talking with George, he said we really want to target areas where we're seeing bait. We made our way down an oyster bar. It took us a while, but we finally found a little area that was a lot of mullet sitting. As soon as we found the mullet, we found the trout.
Here you go, George.
Another one. Red, maybe.
A decent trout.
Is it trout?
Yeah, I'd check it.
How nice and clean that water is, man. Everything just lights up down there. That's a good one. Got one?
Yeah, I got another one.
Nice. Funny, you can work your way down the flat, you don't get nothing, you don't get anything, and all of a sudden you get in one little area. It's always a good idea too, when you get one, stop. These are schooling fish. Wow, that's a little better one too.
Yeah, not bad. Healthy trout.
And you know, tend to be about the same size.
Yeah, just another good trout. George cast it in there, picked up a trout, threw back in there right behind him, whacked another one. Healthy fish, a little over keeper size. Most of the fish have nice bellies on them this time of year.
So we gave it a while. You know, we really looked around quite a bit. The day before, according to George, there was mullet everywhere. But you know, as fishing goes, some things just change from day to day. We looked, like I said, for a while, never found the bait, but you know what? We had a great day on the water. We decided to call it a little early, head back and check out the state park. The Wakulla is spring-fed as well, right?
It is, yeah. You guys are staying pretty much right at the mouth of the spring. We're a few miles down from that.
I think they said it was one of the largest springs in Florida, too.
It is. A lot of fresh water pumps out of here.
So Wakulla Springs, it's one of the deepest springs in the United States. And you know, let me tell you, this place has a lot of history as well. A lot of famous films have been filmed here. The Creature of the Black Lagoon, Tarzan. They used the springs for training during World War II. There was a famous Civil War battle nearby. A lot of famous people have stayed in the lodge. So I'm gonna tell you, you can spend hours in this place just exploring this area and never taking it all in. 1930s hotel, kind of a creepy elevator. This is something you see out of Alfred Hitchcock. I don't know if you want to bring your kids on this elevator when it's dark. You keep your hands out of the way. This is something out of a horror film. We spent the remainder of the afternoon exploring the state park. It was getting to be dinner time, and actually the lodge has a restaurant, so what better way to cap off a perfect day? We got some drinks and some great food. You know, this place is also a destination for a lot of tourists. There's certain times of the year that this water actually out here is crystal clear. The manatees push up into the St. Marks River. They have glass bottom boats. So it's a place you can come with the family and spend a lot of time and have a great time. You know, another great thing about this area is its proximity to Tallahassee. We're only 20 miles away from the state capital. You have a big metropolis area with a lot of history, but 20 miles away you have that old Florida feel. And the best part about it is you have a wonderful fishery. The saltwater fishery has a freshwater fishery. It's just a perfect destination. I lived in Florida my whole life and never even knew about this as a destination. It was because of the Florida Sportsman community and George's post that I discovered such a wonderful fishery. How's the sun make my hair look? Does it look okay? Let her eat! This color, what about this color? Is this a good color on me?
Oh, you gotta talk about
I need to get to the dentist. You only got one tooth. I want to go find some Civil War memorabilia dug up. I want to get some musket balls. That'd be cool. Probably memorabilia is probably all. Well, whatever you call it. Artifacts.